It's funny. You can spend all your life planning to be prepared for the unpredictable. Until it happens. Episode 4. The Comic-Con Incident, Part 1.
How are you feeling, Mr. Wilson?
I'm feeling a lot better. I don't feel as empty anymore.
Do you know how long it's been since the incident?
A week.
Well, you seem fine, and your brother has a lot of sway, so you are being released into his custody.
Is the kid okay?
He's fine. It was you we were worried about. Your muscles were so tense, you looked like a Belgian blue cow.
Shouldn't I be in jail?
The only local law you broke was theft of a police megaphone, and your brother paid that fine.
There's no law against kidnapping a teenage child.
Well, I'd hardly consider it kidnapping, but no. Since this town has never been able to attract people to live here, the Constitution says we can kidnap so long as they are returned within a year.
Why do I live here?
The eternal question that all here ask, but none have the answer.
The door to the room burst open, and Leroy strode up to Harold and looked down.
Do you have your speech written?
Yes, I do.
It's a big day. I've got a suit for you in the car.
Is Samantha driving?
George wanted to take you himself.
George is driving? Today?
Just follow me.
Harold was escorted out of the hospital by Leroy. He could almost feel the gazes as he walked down the hall.
I can feel people staring at me. Do people think I'm a freak?
Harold, your ass is hanging out of your gown. You flashed every grandma since the 3rd floor.
Harold clenched his butt cheeks and whirled around like a dog chasing its tail.
Why didn't you tell me earlier?
It proved my theory.
And what theory is that?
Do you feel that inflection in your voice? That fire? I think that incident got the leftover Star Trek out of your system.
What if I have another incident?
The working theory right now is that it was a one-time thing caused by the stress of losing Star Trek while in your trance.
They walked out the door and passed a patient returning to her car.
Well, hello there.
Hi?
Hey, buddy. You forgot to close your gown.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be. That was a pleasant surprise after the week I've had.
Long week?
Feels like it's been 20 years.
Well, we've got to go, but I hope your week gets better.
She smirked at Harold.
It already has.
Mom and Dad always told you that the Wilson backside would pay off, and you never believed them.
Yes, it pays off. I get made fun of by pretty girls outside the hospital.
Harold, you do know that she was flirting with you, right?
Why would anyone flirt with me?
You are hopeless.
Speak for yourself, Mr. Gap Year in Costa Rica. How is Maria, by the way?
She's fine, and she was not interested.
You two took a 3-month road trip together, and she has sent Mom and Dad a gift to you every year for the last 5 years on the anniversary of when you met.
Why would she send a gift to Mom and Dad?
Because she still thinks you live there.
She's married now.
Well, that could have been you.
Huh.
What are you thinking about?
Had I married her, I would have been in Costa Rica over the holidays. Maybe we could have had this conversation with Lucy.
Don't think I'm being nice or anything, but I've kind of got a new perspective since it happened to me. I know that if anything can get her out, it's you.
Careful, you almost paid me a compliment.
Well, I guess there's a first time for everything. Where is the car, anyway?
Over there.
Leroy pointed to a limousine parked on the street outside the hospital.
George, you are the best.
They walked over and the door swung open. The inside was sleek yet comfortable. George was smiling.
How's my best man doing?
Well, he's not as existential anymore.
Well, I think we all need something before the ceremony.
George opened a compartment in his armrest and pulled out 3 bottles.
Harold, I hope this doesn't set you off, but I thought it'd be funny.
George handed Harold a bottle. Harold started laughing.
Romulan ale. Seriously, where did you get this?
Comic-Con is arriving at Basin Falls tomorrow, so a lot of local shops down there have themed food.
Maybe I should check it out.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Why? Didn't you say I probably wouldn't have another incident?
I'd have to drive you, since you can't legally drive right now, and that is the last thing I want to do.
There was an awkward tension in the car.
Well, Leroy, here's your bottle. I know you don't drink, so I got you chamomile. It's your favorite, right?
Yeah, I find it calms me.
Leroy took the bottle.
Thanks. What'd you get?
I was intrigued by a shop selling Glenn McKenna from How I Met Your Mother, so I bought that.
I'll give you some if you give me some.
Deal.
George and Harold each poured the other a shot glass filled with their drink. Leroy sat, quietly, drinking his tea. They continued drinking and laughing until they arrived at George's wedding venue.
Okay, guys, maybe you should stop drinking and get ready.
Yeah. You're probably right. Let's go! Okay.
I'll be back. Just hand me your bottles.
Leroy took their bottles and walked outside. Leroy looked at his watch.
2 hours to go.
Agent 67 sat in his quarters, shaking his head.
Just calm down. It's probably just 49 pulling a prank on you with the little jalapeno. Oh, the evil jalapeno.
He stood up and his hands were shaky. He walked over to his computer terminal and opened the Nexus Void monitor.
It's probably nothing. Yeah. I mean, look right here. There was no spike in the Nexus energy long enough for a ship to come through. Wait.
He zoomed in on the graph of energy, and he could see something very distinct. There was a large spike at the time the ship passed through, but there was another spike just a millisecond later that didn't match the big spike.
Hey, Agent 49, could you come in here?
Agent 49 walked into the room.
What is it, prairie dog?
Do you know what this is?
It looks like a 150 to 200 pound object came through the Nexus Void right after we did.
Isn't that a problem?
I mean, it's odd, but why are you so concerned?
Because I got this a week ago, and I didn't know what to make of it.
Agent 67 handed Agent 49 the second note. Agent 49 glanced it over, then returned it.
What should I make of that?
Is it possible?
It is highly improbable. No, it isn't impossible.
What do you think we should do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
What did you expect me to say?
I don't know, maybe make some quip about how you got me?
This isn't one of my pranks.
Wait. You take this seriously?
I don't know what to think about this, but I've lived long enough to know I need to take everything seriously.
Shouldn't I report it?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Agent 11 is a closed case that was closed by your superior. You can't challenge the closing unless you have irrefutable evidence. Even then, are you prepared for what that would do to you? I'm sure you've heard what happens to agents that prove their superiors wrong.
So what should I do?
Follow me.
Agent 67 followed Agent 49 to the planning room, and she walked up to one of the walls and slammed her fist against it. It hissed open with a burst of steam. Inside was a computer terminal that was turned off.
What is it?
It's mostly used by rescue agents whenever an alteration or mapping agent gets lost. It can identify a person's time signature anytime they pass through a Nexus gateway.
Why don't we use this all the time?
Because it produces an energy signature so large that they will be picking up trace amounts in China.
So what will that do in more local areas?
It'll disable all electronic devices from here to Basin Falls.
Even hospital equipment?
We can't turn it on for more than a millisecond, and it'll take weeks to charge.
We can only use it for a millisecond?
It grows exponentially. At 5 milliseconds, it'll act as an EMP so powerful that it shuts down half the continent.
So how do we turn it on?
Like this.
Agent 49 pressed a button, and two handles extended from the console. She grabbed both and, in a very strenuous motion, twisted both 95 degrees. They retracted in their new angles. The monitor buzzed on, with a text bar that said confirmation code. Agent 49 typed in her 40-digit code and the machine word. A timer appeared on the screen. 70 days, 0 hours, 0 minutes, 0 seconds. Immediately, the seconds started counting down, and Agent 49 stepped back.
I would have thought 14 to 20 days, not 70.
It isn't meant to be used like this. It hasn't ever been activated outside of the Nexus Void.
Okay, I guess we can wait.
Now I hear George is having a wedding, and I think we should monitor it. It's up in the forest up north.
Agreed.
It had been almost 20 minutes since Harold, George, and Leroy arrived, and Samantha was trying to prevent chaos all over the place.
Leroy, why did you let them drink?
I didn't think it'd be this much of a problem.
You need to watch Harold and George. I'm going to go check on Susan.
Samantha made her way to Susan, and Leroy made his way to George and Harold. George and Harold were in George's trailer. George was laughing hysterically, and the rest of the groomsmen were trying to sober him up.
I'm getting married today!
What happened?
Well, when we had got here, he was a little nervous, so we had one glass of my Romulan ale, and three. Then you got here.
Leroy picked up the empty bottle.
My god, this is just blue tequila, and you drank 3 glasses? How big were the glasses?
Well, they are over there, silly.
Leroy picked up the glass.
This is a pint glass, and there is a ring at the top. Did you each drink 3 pints?
Well, I drank 3. He drank one really slowly.
Leroy put his hands on Harold's shoulders.
Harold, how are you not dead? You just drank about 36 shots of tequila. George drank 12 and he's slobbering on the floor.
I think my metabolism is working really, really fast. I feel so hot and hungry and sweaty and my Fitbit says my heart is moving at 346 beats per minute.
Oh my god, we need to get you to a hospital.
No, I'm fine.
There is no way that's true.
Leroy, I don't understand it myself, but I really need to pee. I'll be back.
Harold ran out of the trailer, and Leroy gathered the groomsmen.
Okay guys, it's game time. George is slobbering on the floor, somebody needs to sober him up. And somebody needs to keep an eye on Harold. If he falls asleep, he might just die. I'm gonna see what's up with this alcohol.
Harold stumbled outside and with great difficulty made his way to the bathroom. When he saw the bathroom, he started running and accidentally body slammed into one of the caterers.
Oh, are you okay?
I'm fine. Are you okay?
I need to help my friend George not to be drunk anymore. I need to pee. I need to... a lot.
I guess I can help you into the bathroom, sir.
Hey, thanks, man.
The caterer led Harold into the bathroom and pulled something out of his pocket.
How many drinks did you have?
About 3 pints of blue tequila.
Oh my, here.
He handed Harold a pill.
What is this?
It neutralizes all the alcohol in your system within 5 minutes.
Ooh. Can I have 2? I think George needs 1.
I only have 1.
Well, I'm gonna give this one to George then.
Harold stumbled out, more coordinated than before, but still quite sloppily. He made his way to the trailer, then burst in.
I have the answer.
What?
Here's George's take this pill.
George grabbed it very sloppily.
What did you just give him?
A pill that will make you not drunk. A wizard man in the bathroom gave it to me.
George, don't swallow that.
Trust tailored wizard man.
George put the pill in his mouth and swallowed it before Leroy could stop him. George fell back for a moment, then stood up slowly.
Are you okay?
Oh, I have the worst hangover of my life.
How are you sobering this fast?
No clue, but thanks, Harold.
No problem.
Okay, well, I am definitely taking you to the hospital after this. But you seem fine for now, so let's go find Samantha.
Samantha was sitting at the bar.
Hey, can I have 1 glass of wine?
Sure thing.
Can I have another glass?
Sure, but I'm not letting you have a third. This wedding at least needs 1 competent person.
Thanks.
Leroy walked up to Samantha.
You are not gonna believe what just happened.
What?
George is completely sober, and Harold is getting noticeably more sober every 5 minutes.
How much did Harold drink?
3 pints of tequila.
How is that possible?
I don't know, but I'm worried.
Why?
He thinks that his metabolism is moving really fast, and I have to agree. That's the only way he could have digested that much alcohol that quickly.
To burn off that much tequila, his body would have to be working at like 80 times its normal speed.
Look!
Leroy motioned to Harold, who was eating non-stop and drinking exorbitant amounts of coffee.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey Harold, come over here.
Harold turned his head with a croissant in hand. He shoved it into his mouth and started wobbling over to them.
Hey, Harold, how are you doing?
Oh, so great. Yeah. Is anyone else really hungry? Because I'm really hungry.
I thought you didn't really like coffee.
I didn't really, but now I feel so alive.
Hey Leroy, what's the ETA?
80 minutes.
Well, looks like we're gonna have to make this a 2-parter.
What?
2-parter. And so many questions to be answered. What's going on with Harold? Why did the agents barely appear in this episode? Why do I care about writing consistent episode lengths now when none of the other episodes have had a consistent length? Well, tune in next time for at least one of those questions to be answered in The Comic-Con Incident Part 2. Thank you for watching this episode of Harold the Star Trek Nerd. Harold the Star Trek Nerd is a Nexus Group podcast written by Dylan Ash and produced by Haley DiGirolamo, Hayden Reese, and Dylan Ash. I'd like to take a moment to thank the cast. They are, in order of appearance, Chase Hinman, Fen Holland, Cage Eschbach, Carly Flagg, Donovan Peterson, Samantha Woodruff, and Haley DiGirolamo. Thank you so much, guys. And thank you for sticking with me, despite how long this episode has taken. Sound effects for Harold the Star Trek Nerd were, for the most part, sourced from the Creative Commons at freesound.org. I say for the most part because there is more gratitude to give out. The forest ambience was recorded with the help of Layla Blazard. Thank you so much. And finally, once again, a thank you to Aiden Henry for the intro to Harold the Star Trek Nerd. Means a lot, man. Tune in next time for the Comic-Con Incident Part 2. Thank you, and good night.